Welcome! Today we're going to talk about this awesome 2023 Tesla Model Y Performance that we have for sale. With the Performance package, this Model Y is a sleeper sports car, even though it's has a compact crossover SUV body. 0 to 60 is right around 3.5 seconds, top speed well over 150 miles an hour. And with electric horsepower, you have power instantly as soon as you hit the throttle response. There's no engine to rev, no transmission gears to downshift into. You have instantaneous thrust. Driving a performance electric vehicle is a completely different experience than driving a performance gas car. And that's why these things do so well in drag races against high-performance cars. Even though this is a crossover SUV, this can put a lot of purpose-built sports cars to shame with its acceleration. Handling's also amazing too. The weight of the batteries act like an anchor, like a keel holding this thing down to the ground, and you have these massive wheels and tires with super sticky rubber on them, performance suspension, performance brakes. This thing is kind of like a Swiss Army knife of vehicles. It's a great everyday commuter vehicle. It's got lots of cargo space. It's a crossover SUV, but it also can be extremely fun to drive too. It's also one of the best, or is the best-selling car in the world. Way back in the day when I started doing videos of Model Ys in the early 2000s, they were still just coming out, but it was easy for me to see the writing on the wall. I was so blown away by the product when it first came out. Elon even said that at the introduction to the Model Y that he thought it was going to become the best-selling vehicle in the world, and he was quite right. It's, I think, the third or fourth best-selling car in the United States, best-selling car in the world, one of the best-selling cars in China, not EVs, but best-selling cars, period, in the world. So people who say, oh, I'm waiting for electric vehicles technology to get to a certain point before I buy it, well, it's there. This has a fully charged range of about 280 miles. You can DC fast charge with Tesla's amazing supercharging network. You have amazing over-the-air updates. You have an amazing Autopilot system, which is traffic-aware cruise control, which allows the vehicle to brake and accelerate in its own lane. And it doesn't just work on the highway. You can actually use Autopilot on regular roads. Here's a video of me using it on regular roads. Even though it's designed for the highway, it can be used on regular roads, and it is amazing. It actually has a lot more ability than a lot of the other intelligent cruise control systems that other manufacturers have. A lot of other manufacturers won't even let you operate their adaptive cruise control, lane keeping assist features, and other than on the highway. Tesla's Autopilot works pretty much everywhere where it can read lines in the road. So pretty amazing. The Model Y market, the performances back in the early 2000s on the used market, they were late model, low mileage ones were selling for $80,000. Now you can get a lightly used Model Y Performance for about half that price. So they've become a lot more affordable today. So if you're thinking about getting one, I think now is a better time than ever to consider getting a Model Y or any Tesla product or any EV product in general. There's a lot of fantastic products out there, but I think, Tesla, as far as EVs go, they're the best. They've been making more EVs pretty much longer than anyone. The first Teslas came out in the early late 2000s, 2008, I think, was the Tesla Roadster, and they have millions of EVs on the road. So if you're curious if it's a performance, the red line underneath the dual motor on the screen and on the back of it, that indicates it's a performance. This one only has 10,505 miles. You can see that the majority of the functionality is in the screen right here. Rather than having hard buttons and knobs that are there forever, this screen is infinitely reconfigurable, and Tesla is constantly having over-the-air updates, improving features, adding features. I remember way back in the day they added an update, and then all of a sudden you got blind spot cameras. For years Teslas didn't have blind spot cameras, and now when you put the turn signal on, you have blind spot cameras. You also have fantastic parking cameras as well. And then when you're driving, you have this fantastic map, and you can also adjust the display as well, what information you want showing up. You have an amazing supercharging network. You can use this button right here to locate superchargers. It's always good to navigate to a supercharger because it will preheat the battery. It'll precondition it for fast charging. So you can see it's preconditioning the battery right now, and that's really important in cold weather. Like in the news, I think a year or two ago, there was really bad cold climates in the Midwest below freezing. And there are a lot of people saying, oh, well, my Tesla won't supercharge. And the reason why it wouldn't is because they were trying to charge it with a completely cold battery. If they preheated the battery before supercharging, it would charge a lot more efficiently. And the thing with EVs is that it is true that their efficiency does decrease in colder weather. Luckily, we have a pretty mild climate here in the Pacific Northwest. It doesn't really get anywhere near freezing for most of the year, so that's really not a problem for us. But the nice thing about Teslas is that they equip their vehicles with a heat pump. So the Model Y has always had a heat pump since it came out. They added the heat pump to the Model 3, I think, in 2021 model year. And a heat pump, just like in your house, makes it much more efficient to heat and cool the vehicle. So that was an awesome thing that they did with Teslas, adding that heat pump. It really made, they're already very efficient, but it made them even more that efficient. And then you have this amazing trip planner. So for instance, if I wanted to drive across the state to Spokane, the Tesla will figure out the whole trip for me. And this trip planner is very complex. It figures ambient temperature, elevation, wind speeds, things like that to figure out your whole trip to where you need to go. So you can see here, driving, I only have 69 miles of range, so I'm not going to make it across the state to Spokane on one charge. So it figures out where you need to charge for how long to charge for. So it pretty much takes all the range anxiety of owning an EV. And you know, fast charging is usually something that most people aren't going to do on a daily basis unless you drive, you know, more than a couple hundred miles a day. You know, charging at your house is the cheapest and most efficient way. Charging overnight, you have a 120 outlet, you'll probably add about 70 miles of range overnight. The best way is to add a 220 or 240 outlet. It's kind of like that dryer outlet, and with an adapter with the provided charging cable, you can get a full charge in about 7 to 8 hours. So that's the best way. And you can also set up the Tesla charging so it will charge off-peak hours. So if you live in an area where it has variable electricity rates depending on the demand, it actually can charge when it's off-peak rates. Like I have my Tesla set to charge automatically at midnight, when generally most people are asleep and utility rates are generally the cheapest. So you have this amazing screen. The majority of the functionality is in the screen. Some people ridicule Teslas, but it's infinitely reconfigurable, so it's constantly getting updated and improving. I have a Tesla myself, a 2019, and even though that Tesla is, you know, 5 years old now, the over-the-air updates help keep it relevant. I get to benefit from new features and new apps added in. They're adding new apps all the time. Recently, they added Audible, Apple Podcasts, Apple Music. I think they're all supposed to roll out like YouTube Music, things like that. You can play video games. Of course, you can't do this while you're driving. You can even get like an Xbox style controller, and you can use that to play the video games. And then they have like the toy box, which has the silly stuff like you can, you know, play music through your horn. You can change the sound of your horn. You have a colorizer, so if you decide to wrap your car, a lot of people like to wrap their Teslas. You can have your car's avatar match to wrap. You have the silly things like the whoopee cushion. So much to talk about and so little time. All right, so we'll do a little walk around on this one. This one has a nice all-season floor mats. Great color combination, this graphite gray on charcoal synthetic leather. Tesla doesn't actually offer real leather in any of their vehicles. It's all synthetic. So the Model Y Performance, you get these Uber turbine wheels with low profile tires, larger performance brakes. I love kind of like the minimalist wedge styling of the Teslas. It's really grown on me quite a bit. Really beautiful and elegant, but very minimalist, which is cool. Since there's no engine here, we have a frunk. So you have additional storage, a lot of storage space here, and it's also a safety feature. In fact, the Model Y is one of the safest vehicles on the road. So obviously it's one of the efficient, one of the most technologically advanced, one of the fastest crossover SUVs, but also one of the safest. And obviously if you value your safety, I'm sure you do, and your family's safety, you know, that's a big reason for people to buy a lot of vehicles. But not only do you get one of the safest vehicles on the road, one of the largest probability of injuries in an accident, but you also get a lot of other perks like amazing efficiency, amazing technology, lots of space in the Tesla Model Y as well. Since you're not hampered by the conventional way of building a car with a gas engine and drive shaft and stuff, it allows kind of more of an open box approach for the interior. So you generally have more interior space in a compact crossover like this Model Y versus a comparable gas-powered one. The headroom's absolutely amazing. I'm 6'2". Legroom's absolutely amazing as well. Very, very spacious for a vehicle this size. You have dual motors, which provides all-wheel drive, also makes it really fast. It's like having two engines. Lots of space back here. You can fold down the seats for a lot of cargo space. In fact, it actually has a camp mode. If you want to camp in it, you can put sleeping bags back there. The camp mode allows the vehicle to efficiently be heated. You can watch the entertainment system without sapping extra energy. You can remove this cargo area cover. You have a cargo area protector, a little bit of storage in there. But you also have additional storage in here. So normally it'd be a gas tank or exhaust system, but since this is an EV, you just have more storage space. Have a carbon fiber trunk mounted spoiler with a performance. Well, there you have it. If you want one of the coolest, technologically advanced, safest, and highest performance crossover SUVs in the compact segment, you got to check out the Model Y. And it's also the best-selling vehicle in the world as of 2023. The Model Y is the best-selling vehicle in the world, believe it or not. Not best-selling EV, best-selling vehicle. Thanks for watching. Hope to see you soon and have a wonderful day.